Okay, so in terms of kind of a longer term view, right? For an operator who has got a sense of the rhythm of their business and it is a quiet period for them, okay? They're in like a bit of a downtime. How can they best use it? I'm thinking like fixing stuff up around the building, planning events, thinking about the community. What would you recommend or what have you seen work well for people in that kind of downtime? And how do you know you're in a downtime?
It's all about identifying patterns, and I think the key thing is if you are in a quiet month, it's holding your head anyway. First of all, is one
Yeah.
thing. Don't go tossing the business model out the window because it's quiet in a
Trust the
certain month.
rhythm.
Trust the rhythm. And if you're quiet, stay busy, as you said. Get planning, get reviewing, um, finding out when people are back, why people are back. Start hammering into your pipeline, your waiting lists, and all that kind of good stuff. If you have a quieter month in comparison to the previous year, make sure you don't have the same problem next year. Plan accordingly.
Yeah, very true. Like take it as information and inform what you do next with it. Yeah, great point. Yeah. I'm thinking as well about like different audience members. So if you have a sense of who comes into your space, be it like say corporate workers versus entrepreneur versus maybe freelancer who's contracting or something, do they have different rhythms? Can you dive into it a little bit deeper to understand within the pattern who's coming in when? And then if there's a particular audience, like who is coming in when it's quiet, can you get more of them? Because there is always a certain profile who does want to be around, like to your point, the parent who has 3+ kids, and they're all spending time in a caravan somewhere, they'd absolutely love to be able to access a hot desk and come in. Can you actually kind of get quite specific about who is using the space during those times, maybe, and find a way to drive a bit of business or awareness just in that group ahead of time? You could actually be marketing alongside, yeah, any of those camps that kind of have kids coming in who aren't based in the area. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
all, I suppose, if you are trying to attract people to an area, it's all about, as you said, finding complementary services. You mentioned it there a minute ago. I mean,
mm-hmm.
local B&Bs, local hotels. I mean, they all have stands where tourist attractions are being promoted,
Marketed. Yeah,
marketed.
big
So
time.
I think you can tag along with that. And again, you can keep your marketing efforts hyper local in that base. As I said, you're putting yourself in the way of people. And this time round, like this thing is like, if you're down in West Cork here and you're down to do, I don't know, like a sailing camp or something like that, and you're staying in a local B&B or something, if there's marketing material there about your co-working space, they may not use it this time, but they're like, geez, you know what? Next time I'm down, I'm going to stay a little bit longer. I'm going to spend a few more, give them a
100%.
reason,
Yeah.
and it's
Noted.
just again, marketing. I think, and you'll agree with me, is it's consistency. It's making sure, like what you do today may not pay dividends until maybe 2 seasons time. Um,
Yeah.
so even though you may not, and that's what I was saying about the quiet time is, don't go tossing the business model out. Keep the consistency going. Keep building up
Mm.
that momentum, and it will come back around and pay dividends later on. We just don't know when.
And a big part of marketing, because marketing can be a real catch all, but like a big part of marketing is you don't need to be everywhere marketing wise. You just need to be in the right places. So, like, if you have a sense, if you've been running your space for a while and you have a sense as to the type of person who's coming in the door, like, it's worth going a layer or two deeper into what the rhythm of their year is, what their pattern is like. Because if you do have, you might even decide, to grow the business in 6 months' time when we're, say, around Easter next year. I actually want to have more dedicated desks or closed door office members in. So that means they're actually locally based. So, what's a good time of year to get them in when they've never been in before? And it might be the time when the kids are on school holidays and the house is busier than it's ever been. And it's actually a good time to catch locals who've never tried your space. They come in, they try something when their own kind of household is under pressure, maybe, and they need a bit of time and space. And they say, Jesus, when the kids are going back to school now, I wouldn't mind actually getting out of the house for a day or two if they're work from home. So there's opportunities within it as well. Sometimes that mightn't be as obvious on the surface. You might be thinking only about the holiday makers and stuff. But if longer term you want to grow your business with the dedicated desks or the local members more so, then see the opportunity, maybe just explore it a bit deeper, to think about their rhythm, their pattern, and where they're going to be, and then those can be the places that you market.
Thanks for tuning in to Flex That Works. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss our next episode. Connect with us on LinkedIn, watch the full episode on YouTube, and you can explore free tools and resources over at baseworks.co. This is Flex That Works, powered by Baseworks, here to help you scale your workspace, making it simpler and less stressful.